Yo, so what's up, Facebook? I'm driving. I got a long drive to work, so I want to just address a couple things because it's kind of hard to say everything you want to say in a Facebook post. And even though I'm a pretty good communicator, I realize, that when I communicate, especially when I'm just making a post, that there's a lot you got to consider when part of the audience is women, and you got to be careful with triggering their emotions when you're just trying to talk to their mind. You kind of got to do a certain dance in order to do it around some women sometimes. Not all, because I know some women just talk straight words, especially if they already know where they stand with you. You ain't no I hate you type shit. You can speak freely, and they'll try to process it in a way where they don't have to paint you as a demon to not, because you said something that they didn't like. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to address this back and forth that's going on with this Kamala Harris and Donald Trump and the presidency. First thing I want to say is that we don't choose the president. So if anybody thought that putting on your chucks and pearls or whatever was going to choose a president, we don't elect a president. The president is selected by the Electoral College. They already know who's going to be president. It might not even be either one of these two, for all we know. That's already decided. They put on this little dog and pony show for this reason, to keep the people divided and to see where the majority of people are politically and take your temperature. But they're not going to let a bunch of people who have no real political experience pick who the president is. That's just not how it works. There's a group that does that, and that's their job. So we just a bunch of people arguing in the comments. But I feel a way about both of these people. I don't support either one. But when I determine who I like, it's not based on who I prefer as president, not even who I like. Because I could dislike both of you, but think one is more suited than the other. Or I could love both of you and think one is more. So it's not about your emotions of which one makes you feel the best. It's about, for me, which one is going to do the most for me and my people. That's what I'm concerned about. That's what I'm concerned about. Who's going to do the most? You know what I'm saying? And when I look at it, and I look at a lady who's already said, am I going to do anything for black people? No. For just black people? No, right? That really told me a lot about where she stood. Because like everybody's saying, when she got in office, she did a lot for just Asians. Or her administration and her support was behind doing stuff for just immigrants, just the dreamers in DACA, just the trans and the homosexual community. But she's afraid to call our name unless she needs your vote. Then she put on her black cape, she becomes super black woman to get the vote. But she's telling you, when I get in office, that has to change. I'll do stuff for everybody, not just you, right? So that to me means if I'm voting my best interest, why would I vote for somebody who's told me that they're not going to do anything for me? I mean, it is the only qualification that makes some people want to vote for her is that she has a vagina. That's a presidential notch in your belt now. You happen to hit the lotto and be born with a vagina, and that qualifies you? Because they're saying she'll be the first black female president. What the hell difference does that make? How is walking into the White House with a vagina, how is that going to fix anything? That's what if somebody could tell me how that would fix things. I've had some vaginas in my life. I've never seen them change the course of, the country or nothing like that. They just pretty much make babies and make men happy and give you a place to pee from. But they don't change the world, right? So that's such a silly, immature standard to have. She's black and she's a woman. And on the black thing, right? I'm trying to address this because in America, we had a one-drop rule. So black people in America process blackness through that law that white folks set. White folks set the law of one drop because they were afraid of black genetics being snuck into their population because they know their genes are so dominant. So they say one drop of black blood could produce, even if the first group of children don't look black, the second, third, that gene is in there. So they're afraid of it. So one drop is enough. We're gonna disqualify you from doing anything because you got one drop. In the rest of the world, they don't think that way. Like in Jamaica, everybody's black, pretty much. There's a majority black, so they don't differentiate themselves by, my brother, we both black. The good are black, the bad are black, the indifferent are black, the neutral are black, everybody's black, right? So they separate themselves in other ways, right? And, in her father, who they say is Jamaican, just being Jamaican doesn't make you black. There are Asians, just like being American don't make you black. You could be an Asian American, white American, Chinese American, whatever, right? Same in Jamaica. You got Chinese people that speak, with a Jamaican accent thicker than the people who from there. And they was born there. They say I'm Jamaican. That don't make them black, right? This man was half black, I believe, or 1/4 black. Like one of his parents was half black, and he was born in Jamaica, right? So let's just not use the she's black argument, because she has some black blood. That's true, but that does not make you black, right? And when I say black in America, what I'm talking about is the black that traces back to the plantations in America, right? That has, the black church in its background. Those are the kind of black people I'm referring to when I say black. And that's the camaraderie that we can expect certain things, even though not all the time will we get them, but we can have a certain expectation from those black people because they have a similar experience, right? When you bring somebody from somewhere else, a different culture, who views their blackness differently, being black does not have the same weight. Saying that they're black does not have the same weight as it would if this was, let's say, a Michelle Obama, right? I know Michelle Obama's experience, but I know people just like her. I know there's certain heartstrings that I can pull on with her because she has a similar experience. I know that she has black men in her family, black women in her family, so I know she's not going to, she's less likely, let me say that, to just ignore laws that would protect the people who look like her, who have these experiences that her nephews and cousins and uncles have had, right? So that's a different kind of black. And really all the reasons, swear to God on everything, when I voted for Barack Obama, it wasn't because of him. I was happy that he was a black man that looked like me. But Clarence Thomas looks like me, right? So just looking like me doesn't, spark up no. I know that people can look just like you and be the worst for you, right? But it was his black wife. She validated him for me. Them black daughters, just the thought of them running around the White House with barrettes and balls in their hair, smelling like bergamot grease or Royal Crown hair grease or whatever, that's what did it for me. This half Kenyan dude, just because he, they come from a different society. They didn't come up under I'm black and I'm proud like our parents did and go through that process of wearing their naturals and trying to be free from the man and all that kind of shit. This is a different type of situation. So this is what I'm saying when I say, like, she's not black. In more than one way, she's not black. And the fact that she went to an HBCU, they bring that up. And out of that, all them high-achieving black men there, she couldn't find one to start a family with. Tells you who she resonates with. She could not find one that was suitable. The only one that was suitable for her to settle down, bend over every night and bust it open for was a white Jew. So that tells me, so let's just throw the black card out the window, because let's not talk about that. We could argue that all day, and I can make strong arguments that she's not black like me and you. But what has she done? And what has she promised? What is she gonna do? What is the point? I have yet to see that, right, or hear that. With Donald Trump, yes, the man is a fucking idiot, but he's a useful idiot. He's a useful idiot, right? You either want to have a president with a strong moral character and a strong leadership skill running the country, or you want to have a president that's so weak that you can tap him and control him. You can ask him for things, cut deals with him, that he feels like if it benefits me, I'll do it. All we got to do is put together some agendas, put them in front of him, and say, hey man, this is what we need. He's letting Kanye West come in the White House and talk to him, right? I mean, we could send people to talk to this man. Like, even when Ice Cube had the contract for America, right? You know, he was willing to sit down and listen. What do you black people want? You want jobs for black people? We'll give you black jobs. Hey, I got the best black jobs numbers ever. And that's another thing. What is wrong with saying that? Especially when you compare it to a woman who says, am I going to do anything for just black people? No. To a man who says black jobs. Who the fuck else is going to worry about black jobs? Isn't that something we should be worried about? I'm black. I need jobs. Why would I be upset at a man? He don't word shit right. We know that. Get over it. Grow up. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We're not voting for Jesus. We're voting for a president. That's a lot of the people's problem too, is that they think of everything in terms of Jesus or the devil. Like, that's not how the world works when you're an adult and you mature. You don't vote on that. Neither one of them is Jesus or the devil. You got to find which one is going to give us the things that we value. That's how everybody else votes, right? The Asian bloc, they don't just go vote for anybody because the church told them to, or Cardi B had a video doing the stanky leg with them. That's not why they vote. Only we do that goofy shit. Everybody else said, this is our agenda. Can you meet this agenda? Can you do these things on this list for us? If you promise to do these things on this list for us, we'll throw our vote behind you. I know it's other things you're going to do that we don't like, but if you can do these things that we do like, we'll give you our vote. That's maturity, right? Like a former friend of mine on here makes a strong point when she says, you know, she's voting because of the Supreme Court picks that he's going to make that's going to affect generations to come. I can't argue that. I agree with you. That's a problem. But because Trump will lend you his ear, I believe that we can have some influence on that because he will lend you his ear. Part of what we can say is, you don't make no Supreme Court decision without talking to us. If you want to be elected the second time, if we get you in there. There's things you just got to work out your negotiations. That's what this is. It's a negotiation for your vote. It's just as black people, we don't require nothing. We the only group, you know, that just don't require nothing. All you got to do is, if you Bill Clinton, play the saxophone on Arsenio Hall. They got you. Hillary Clinton. Yeah, I keep hot sauce in my purse. I keep it right here all the time. Am I? You know, you voting now? You got me? I got hot sauce. See, look, hot sauce. Right? Or if you goddamn Kamala Harris. I mean, it's just like they just the cheap way that they pander to us is so embarrassing that I don't know how. You know, it's embarrassing, man. And you know that they immediately go grab Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion because they know that it's a particular. I don't want to say it, but there's a portion of the black community that all you got to do is tickle their emotions. And if you don't play into the whole girl power sisterhood thing, I mean, you'll really get them. And somebody knows that about this particular group, and they tickling their little heartstrings, and they're not using their brains. A lot of them. Some are. Like I said, the Supreme Court argument was a very strong argument that I get. That leans me in your direction a little bit, because that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for strong arguments. You know what I'm saying? Because it does the whole she's black and she's a woman thing don't move me. But the argument that you're making is, okay, do we want a more balanced Supreme Court? I don't want it 100% liberal, because I definitely don't believe in all the liberal. You let them have it. You have, you know, trans people able to, you know, spread their ass cheeks in the third grade classroom to show people the entrance for homosexual love, and that's just moving progress forward. You know what I'm saying? So since I know that that's how they move, I don't want them having full power without some checks from some conservative. And there's some things about conservatives that I like. I believe a family is a man, a woman, and a child. I think that should be written into law. There's a lot of things that I don't believe in unregulated immigration. I believe that if you're here and you determine that you got here illegally, we need to send you back to where you came from, right? And if you're not going to do that, then you can't keep my homeboys locked up that you got locked up in jail for breaking the law. But then tell me, if you're a Mexican, you can break the law, and then not only break the law, but you can come here and get the housing, the food stamps, the vouchers, the education, and all these things that they give it to immigrants when they break the law. When my homies break the law, all they get is prison, right? So I'm not for that at all. You know what I'm saying? So there's I want balance, and I think that the balance between the two on the Supreme Court is important. So that's a strong argument, right, for the Supreme Court. So I mean, for this particular candidate, Kamala. I don't know who she's going to vote for. I'll assume it's going to be somebody liberal, or who she's going to appoint, I should say, to the Supreme Court, right? But the last thing I want to say about this is that I don't think black women realize the setup that's happening to them. I just don't think they do. I think that they think that they've allowed this gaslighting that's happening to get in the way of their thinking and their processing of situations, because what you got to understand is that the majority of this country, right now I'm in Maine. I got here because I drove across the country. I'm always back and forth. And, you know, there's segments of this country that are ready to go to war against any threat that they perceive, right? They know how to hunt, they know how to fish, they're armed to the teeth, and they got white privilege. You know, you see them running up the walls at the state capitol and, you know, get a little slap on the hand. If that was you, you'd have been shot dead, right? So they know that they can get away with criminal, violent acts in the U.S. And guess who the number one target is for those criminal, violent acts? Black women. Why do I say that? I don't know if you realize, but they've been pushing y'all out front. The white man's been pushing y'all out front. And every black woman who they're pushing out front has a white husband, just so you know. All right? Kamala, Ketanji Brown, you know, I forget the other ones, but you know what I'm talking about. I forget the other ones, but anyway. So now you got Fani Willis prosecuting Trump in Georgia. You got Letitia James prosecuting Trump in New York. You got Kamala Harris, you know, running against Trump as a president for the presidency, right? You are public enemy number one to these people as you drive across country. This is why they can walk into a house where you having a medical issue and blow your brains out now. You have told the world, or these people have told the world on your behalf, that we're equal. We can do anything. There's no difference between a man and a woman. It's all the same. We all, you know, hey, no difference, you know. So, okay, well, no difference. I can blow your brains out like I've been blowing his out. You're being welcomed into equality that you talked up on. And it's happening more and more and more. You're seeing black women being targeted more and more. The social programs that they've survived on. Do you know that the highest, newest, fastest growing homeless population are black women? Across all races in America, black women. The most evicted across all of America. I mean, I'm talking about when you compare the Eskimos, everybody, the Asians, is black women, the most evicted, right? You know, and now they're becoming the greatest targets. These people can take a woman and choke the life out of her, like they did Sandra Bland, because they've said, I'm equal. And now they're going up against the white power structure. Most women are smart enough to put their man out front. Our women are telling the men to sit down, follow us. We said vote for Kamala. We don't run this. So it's like, okay. You know, it's like even the football players, they know who to send out to block. You know, so they can. Black women are foregoing all of that, and they saying we want to get out front. We went to AKA. We watch Woman King, so therefore we think we can do this. And I'm just saying, you know, be careful. On top of that, feminism has helped women in America. I get it. I get it. There's some things that I don't know if it really helped them, because when I say it used to be a time when the men would go out to work and take all those arrows and feed you, clothe you, house you, pay all your bills. None of the stresses of life of the outside world that you have to carry, you carried the ones in the home. And you had help with that, because you had a man to keep the roof over the head and to talk to and discipline the kids when he came home. Now you out here with us, sharpening elbows and rustling and tussling in the world with men. So I don't know if that's helped them, but they say it helped them. So you know, I guess, you know, whatever. I'm not gonna argue with you. If you think that's better for you, then go lay bricks and dig ditches with everybody else, I guess. You know what I mean? Whatever, right? But make no mistake about it, the rest of the world don't care nothing about your feminism and the ideas and bullshit that America has accepted. Like, the rest of the world's not confused on what a woman is, who's a woman, is a nigga with a beard, or just a woman on the inside. The rest of the world is not going through none of that. That's an American confusion, illusion that they've been pushing on the people, right? Putin don't give two shits about if feminism has put you here. You think he finna look in Kamala's eyes and see her as a threat, right? You think this is Xi Jinping or whatever, China, these world leaders are going to. There's a reason why there is no country on the planet with a standing female army that anybody fears. You can't name one. Only in the Woman King. In real life, there's not one nation on the planet with an army full of women that people fear. That's not to say women don't have a place and they don't have the ability to lead and be intelligent. But what I'm saying is that in this world that you live in right now, that being a woman is not an asset to any type of leadership. If anything, it's something you got to overcome in the eyes of the people who are world leaders, right? So, for many reasons, I just think that this thing with Kamala is like, it's just emotional when you say that, we get her in office. But my thing is, if she gets in office, I want y'all to stand on it, because, like, you got Barack Obama in office, Stacey Abrams and all the people got out to vote, the Sisterhood Brigade that unites all the AKAs and all of this and that across the country, that got this man in office, got the brothers to vote for him. Okay, we let y'all take. He didn't pass not a one bill. Still to this day, there's nothing really that this man has done. What they do is they practice a thing called benign neglect. So it's not that they just don't do nothing to help you. They just use your vote, shame you into voting for them. Like, if you don't vote for me, you're not black, right? That's what they do. And then they get in office and they actually do stuff for the people who negotiated to have something done for them. Since black people didn't ask for nothing, they don't get nothing. And when black men tried to take the lead and say, Ice Cube, this is a man we should be able to trust to a certain extent. He has a black wife, he's been married to her. You ain't heard Ice Cube with no scandals, cheating, abusing women, doing nothing wrong. This is the type of black man that black women say that they can submit to, that they could be good, submissive, following, women to. And as soon as he got out and said, we're going to take the lead as men, we're going to make a list of things that we think are good for our community, the first people to attack him were these black women who say that, and then they just did a sisterhood huddle, came together and said, we're going to go in another direction, and we want Biden. And we don't want nothing from him. We just want him to wink at us, smile, be nice, say nice stuff. Maybe he can get a black woman vice president. That'll work for us. That's what we want. So we got it. What did it do for us? Nothing. So Barack Obama passed nothing. Biden passed nothing. Even the George Floyd policing bill, which the whole country's got on fire, this, that, and the other, that's not how you get policing passed. The Democrats promised you some shit. They patted you on your little Negro head. And don't worry about a little Negro. We might not give you the George Floyd policing bill, but we'll increase your food stamps $15. How's that for, reparations and to assist you, you know what I mean? So, because that's what it is. It's like the Democrats practice a different type of racism. I think that's why emotional people would see the Democrats as the good people and the Republicans as the bad people, because the Republicans practice a racism with a straight face or a frown. Yeah, we don't like you, we think you're some niggas, but yeah, look, we'll give you some real shit, and vote for us again, we give you some more real shit, and we don't like you, you don't like us, but if you need some money so you can be independent, start coming to asking us for jobs and shit, here's some money, here's some training, here's some something. The Democrats feel like to help, they do a different type of racism. It's like with a smile. Hey, you little Negroes, we know you're suffering down there in the ghettos, and it's just so bad. How about we give you a little prison reform? How's that? We reform do a little prison reform for you. But nigga, I don't go to prison. I ain't been to prison in years. How's that helping me? Now, well, but Kodak Black and those guys, they've gone. Let's just make sure we give you a little prison reform. How about a little affirmative action? Yeah, we'll give you a little affirmative action. We know mostly white women is going to benefit from it. You know what I'm saying? And Hispanics that come over here and anti-black immigrants are going to benefit more from it than you will. But, we can, it's for the people of color. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to call your name specifically as black. You just people of color. So you thrown in with the midgets, the Eskimos, the fucking pygmies, whoever. As long as they got color, you in the bump jumbo with them. You know what I'm saying? Nothing for you specifically. Just, you just in there with the people of color. So, anyway, I know this was a rant. I just wanted to say what was on my mind, because it's hard to type it all out. But, yeah, it's crazy, man. We just got to become a more mature group. And I know some of the things I'm saying to some women can be insulting, because they feel, keyword feel, like they're voting their best interest, right? But feeling does not determine whether something is true, okay? And voting for somebody that makes you feel good is how you've gotten manipulated by the baby daddies you got that didn't work out, because they made you feel a certain type of way. A pastor, every pastor just robbed your grandmother for all her life, for her offerings and tithes, and couldn't even get buried in this church because y'all didn't have the fee to pay the church. Every pastor who's done that, he knew something about you. Every pimp that's talked to a woman and saw her in a vulnerable state and got her to go out and sell her body, he knew something about the nature of these people and their tendencies. Not to say everyone, but it's something about the nature of these people to if you tickle their emotion, you can get more out of them. Derek Jackson lied out his teeth every day. He knew something about women, right? And you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. So, when you know that about women, it's a simple process. Every advertiser knows it. That's why they know. Every salesperson knows it. If you want to sell something, go to that's what they used to say back in the 50s when families were together. Go to the house when the woman is there. If you can convince her, she'll convince the husband. But if he's there and he see all this bullshit that you pulling in this conversation, the emotional tugging that won't affect him, he gonna reject it. But you got to convince her. You convince her, she'll get him. Christian women, that's the reason why your Bible talks about the serpent went after Eve. You convince her, she'll convince him. And that's what they're doing right now. You don't realize you're reading this book for the wisdom and you won't take nothing out of it. You know what I'm saying? The little wisdom that is in it, in my opinion, you leave it. You know what I'm saying? But you should be able to see yourself in the light of the Bible. This is why God said that the man is to be your head. He did not say he's to be your foot, your ankle, your elbow. He said your head. Why the head? Why the head? Because a woman will shut off her head and go through the world with her feelings. Close her eyes and feel her way through the world. That is dangerous. It's great in the house. It's great in the home. As a mother, that is great. You know what I'm saying? Let me just give you the first. I'm going to let this go. But like, when my son was little, all my children, right? Or both my children, when they were little, my son, he would cry. So I'm watching him. Not watching him, but I mean, he's with me at this time, just by myself. So, I feed him, burp him, change him, pat his back, make him feel good. If he still keep crying, I don't know what you're crying for, dude. I'm gonna put you in the crib. Because as a man, logically, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, I've done that. And you still ain't satisfied, well then, I can't do nothing for you, man, right? But his mama will come in and, why is my baby crying like this? You just let him cry. She get him and she got, do all the coddling. And he let it go. I did all that shit, what I'm saying? But it's because the natures are different. that nature that you have that has you overlook all that kind of stuff and just say, hey man, it's about the feelings, that nurturing. That's great for the house. But in the world, it is a door to every predator that is so weak. You can just push it open and get to her, right? That's why she's to be protected. That's why she's to be under the heading of the leadership of a man. He's supposed to be out front blocking all those threats that she would just let in because of her nature. So this doesn't make her bad. I'm not saying that a woman is bad because of this. I'm saying, but you have to accept and acknowledge your nature and why these things are said. Your God was not crazy, right? That's the thing. Christian women are mixing Christianity with feminism and all kind of shit. Your Bible is very clear. A woman is to be under the head of a man, right? Christ is the head of man, man is the head of woman, woman is the head of children. That's the pecking order of how things go. The women try to jump out above everybody. They even try to jump out above Christ. Christ can't, these are Christian women and Jesus can't tell them shit. Once Christian women found out that Christ was black, they stopped listening to that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Back when your grandmothers had the picture of the white Jesus up on the wall, they listened to that one. Y'all done got turned convinced that the Jesus character is black. Now there's a nigga I can ignore. Now I can be more. Now you have the kind of Christians that will wear a cross as they stripping in the strip club and spray their asshole because they know it's a black Jesus. That nigga right there, you don't really have to do all the shit you did when we thought he was white, right? So, you know, these are just some thoughts from the mind of Sean. I know some of my, I just wanted to put it out there. These are some of the things I'm thinking. And if I'm wrong, sure, I'm open to, having discussion and debate about it. But I don't think that anything I'm saying can be proven wrong factually. The Bible gives you a direct pecking order. If your men are saying we need to go this way, as a Christian woman, you're supposed to say, this is the way we're going, right? But you got households that split now because the women respect the sisterhood born by feminism more than they do the pecking order established by their God. You know what I'm saying? And this is another reason why I think you cannot let this group lead. They're not supposed to lead. It's not a bad thing, but they're not supposed to lead. They're not designed for that kind of pressure. Pressure is made for shoulders, not for hips. All right? So, just wanted to put that stuff out there. And I don't know how long this shit was, but yeah, just wanted to share that. All right, peace.